With every summer holiday, there's an almost inevitable routine of discovering a new sun drenched location and then thinking to yourself, could I live here? Today's guest has pretty much done that. As one half of Puglia Paddys, John Nolan and his partner swapped life in Nurney, Kildare, for Osteria in Italy. John, you are very welcome to Money Talks.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for having me.
Buying the house, what was the very first step for you? Did you get an agent to show you around the area, or what happened first?
So while my sister was looking further south, me and my partner David decided to take a few days to come up to Osteria, which is further north than, where my sister was. And as we drove up, we saw this glimmering white city on the hill, right by the sea, and we just said, like, this is like the Wizard of Oz or Disney or something, and we just fell in love with it. So we contacted an agent called Jenny O'Brien from Cork, who's been living here for 16 years. And she knew exactly what we were looking for. Where we were coming from. We gave her a wish list. To be honest, not really thinking we'd move. So we saw a few houses and saw the one we're in now for 80,000.
Hmm.
And thought, oh my God, when we get home, we should value our house because, we may not be in negative equity anymore. So we went to a local agent in Kildare, put the house on the market, got more than we expected, and we had enough to buy the house here in Ostuni. So we flew back to speak to Jenny and put a deposit on the house. My sister also flew back to look in Ostuni and she put a deposit on another house. And yeah, Jenny looked after the paperwork and the bureaucracy and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it seems like a real stroke of luck finding an
it
Irish
was.
agent.
It was. We're really, really lucky. And the
Mm.
Italian agents are fine, but there's a certain culture, an Irishness to somebody from Ireland, that
Yeah.
they kind of understand you more. And I suppose there's a trust there as well that probably wouldn't be as high if you had an alternative agent that you knew nothing about.
So Jenny then put you in touch with what's called a geometra. Can you tell me
Yeah.
what a geometra is?
A geometer in Italy is basically a surveyor and a project manager in one.
Okay.
So basically, he would check the property for any defaults, cracks, or leaky roofs, and to make sure the house is legal, which is really important in Italy
Hmm.
because it's quite hard to get planning permission. People tend to add a bedroom or change of use of kitchen into a bedroom to make it a three-bedroom where it's really a two-bedroom. So
Hmm.
he checks the legalities of everything by going to the local commune here in Ostuni, which would have all the historic paperwork of the house and make sure everything's according to plan.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah,
You mentioned paying a deposit. What percentage of the house price was the deposit?
the deposit is 10%
Okay. Okay.
of the house price. And a good rule of thumb is that we got this house, it was on the market for 80, and you add another 10% of that on for fees, charges, and estate agents and all that. So as a rule of thumb, I'd go with 10% adding
Okay.
to the cost of the house. And also to get your head around the fact, if you see a house online for 80,000 euro, that's the most you'll pay for it. So you bid down, basically. It never goes above that price. So selling a house in Ireland where the price you advertise goes up, it's the opposite way here in Italy.
At what
Yeah.
point then? How long did it take to get the keys in your hand?
So the geographer came back within a few weeks to say everything was fine with the house. And we had some additions that we wanted to put onto the house. So we wanted to make sure that a swimming pool would be possible because it's not possible in every area. And it depends on the location of the house, the size of the house, how much land is there, the position of the house. So we got the okay from our geometer to say, these additions are possible. So once we got the go ahead, we left the deposit. And it happened really quickly. We were on a plane back here within 6 weeks
Wow.
to sign for the house. Yeah.
And then meanwhile, I guess you're telling your friends and family back in Ireland this is what you're doing.
Yes. And we thought we were absolutely nuts.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. because it's usually when I hadn't heard of Puglia before I came here, to be honest, but
Mm.
those who had, you learn in school that the southern part of Italy is really poor and the northern part is a lot better. And, it's a pretty undiscovered place. So they thought that we were insane, but when we explained what we were doing, it was really a wait and see. Will we fall on our faces or will this actually happen?
Yeah, yeah. Did anyone try and
So
talk you out of it?
a lot of people, yeah. A
Okay.
lot of people thought we were absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So what about a work point of view? So did you have to then go in and hand in your notice as well, or how did that happen?
Yeah, I did. I first asked could I work from Italy, and that was a plain no. So,
Worth a
uh,
try.
yeah, exactly. So Dave is really lucky. He has to work in Ireland for a certain number of weeks per year to keep it legal.
Okay.
So he's back and forth all the time. Unfortunately, he can't be here full time.
Okay.
But our aim is to have both of us here full time. So I picked up work here and there, looking after luxury villas. Just if a guest comes, I'll show them around the villa and give them the keys and stuff like that. So you get busy in the summertime, but in the
Yes.
wintertime, there's absolutely no work.
Yes.
So if you're thinking here of coming here and furthering your career, depending on what it is, unless you're in medical or something like that, and you're fluent in Italian, to be honest with you, it won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So in our case, we're hoping to sell the house we're in. We're not flipping as such because of the amount of time it takes, it wouldn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
We're just looking to make a living. So that will keep us going for a while. So our goal is to maybe sell this house down the line a bit. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to get two houses. One we can rent out in the summer, which is really lucrative, and live off that in the other house. And being mortgage free and the bills are very minimal, it's very doable.
Yeah. So tell me more about the bills and the general cost of living there in comparison to Ireland.
So in Ireland, before we left, our mortgage had gone up to €3,000 per month. Electricity bills, as you know, are huge. Um, Property taxes, and commuting to work has its own cost as well. So here we have no mortgage. Actually, the only bill we have would be our electricity and the bin charges, because there's no house tax if you're a first-time buyer. And yeah, that's literally the only bill we have apart from keeping the car running and the dogs healthy and the vets. That's about it.
Yeah.
Our money, basically any income we have now is spent on renovations, and social life is a lot better than it was in Ireland as well. So it's a lot cheaper to eat out.
Give me an
So we have,
example. Like what kind of if you went out the two of you and had like a three-course meal each in a semi-decent restaurant, what would you be like? What would it be costing?
so we went out to a town called Kildare, which is in the other direction, it's about 5 minutes away. So starters would cost you about, for a really nice locally sourced starters meal, would be about €6 to €8. Your pizza is about €6 to €8 as well. Really, absolutely amazing pizza.
Yeah.
Dessert about €6, and a glass of wine would cost you about €6 for a really nice local wine. 20 for a bottle.
Mm.
So it's very
Significant.
minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a huge difference, and that's a really nice restaurant. It's not a back alley or anything like that. It's a really nice restaurant with they're always really busy as well, so there's great atmosphere there.
Yeah. What about the slower pace of life? Do you find you spend less naturally when your life kind of slows down a little bit?
It's a huge change and a bit of a culture shock at the start. So everything takes a long, long time, even at the supermarket. Everybody's really laid back. So coming from Dublin at the start, there was a lot of foot tapping, and we did have hair, we would have torn it out long ago.
Yeah.
Just waiting for everything takes forever. So that did take getting used to. But 2 years on, we find when people come to visit from Ireland, they're very highly strung,
Yes.
and it takes us a while to get our head around. Calm down, like it's fine.
Yeah. So they
Um,
must have noticed that you guys have changed a lot as well then. Did they say that to you?
yeah, they do. They think we're a bit too laid back, I think,
Yeah.
at times.
Get back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me about the actual getting the work done. So, in Ireland at the moment, it's incredibly difficult to even get tradespeople, and the prices, the quotes people are getting are outrageous. What's it like there, comparatively speaking?
So we planning takes a long time. So one of the main value adds to the house we wanted to do was add a swimming pool, which costs between 30 and 35,000, but it adds a lot of value. So that was important to us. But the planning permission for that in Osteria takes about a year and a half. So it's a bit of a wait. Um, so planning does take a long time, but the costs are a lot less.
Okay, okay.
So once the planning comes through, then I suppose construction itself, again, going back to being really laid back, construction workers take a lot of time off. And if it's raining, they don't show, or if it's a holy day, they don't show, or if it's the week after a holy day, they don't show because they spend a lot of time with family and enjoying life. They don't really believe in I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, but they don't believe in working themselves to the bone. It's more about family time and relaxing,
Yeah.
which I think is the right way to look at it in many ways. They have a long life expectancy, and that's probably the reason.
Yes, yeah. You had a piece out on Saturday in The Independent and you spoke
Yes.
about taking on a little bit of DIY yourself.
Yeah.
It didn't always go exactly as you had hoped. So you're saying with the tiling, which I really related to, because I just think like surely I could tile a bathroom,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
apparently you can't.
No. So what I did,
Yeah.
I in my mind, I had never tiled before.
Hmm.
So there were tiles on the lower end of the wall in the bathroom, and I said, they're lovely. They'll be fine. I'll just tile above them. So I quickly realized that when you stick a tile to the wall, it slowly slides down.
Yeah.
So I had some photographs of many sweeping brushes trying to hold up these tiles until they stuck to the wall.
Yeah.
It was a total disaster. A big waste of money because I bought a lot of tiles and cement. So we ended up just having to scrap that and get the tradesmen to do it
Yeah.
properly. And unless you're really handy and you know what you're doing, get somebody to do it for you because the quality work is really good here, So
Hmm. Hmm. So that's
um,
one tip then. Do you know what I mean? Know your
yeah,
limitations, I
exactly. And
suppose.
know what you need planning for as well, because planning is really difficult here. So, for instance, like we had a window on the right side of the bathroom that had to be moved, but that all requires planning. Change. We wanted a door in the kitchen to the outside that requires planning and time. So even change of route, or sorry, even change of use internally. If you want to change a bedroom into a living room, for instance,
Hmm.
requires planning. You can't just go ahead and do it.
Hmm. What was the most unexpectedly costly aspect of the whole build for you guys?
So as I said, a swimming pool was the major thing that we wanted to add value to the property. But as time went, so we got an original quote, and that quote never changed. But what changed was, as we lived here, we realised we needed more than we thought done. So, for instance, the tiles on the floor that we thought we'd get used to, needed changing. We needed electrics done that we didn't think we needed done. So slowly but surely, as we added things and we saw other properties and got new ideas and learned what Puglia living is like and the Puglian style of doing things, you know, um, your wants and needs list, you know, increases all the time. So it wasn't the prices went up, but it's what we wanted had changed so much compared to what we arrived. We thought the bare minimum would be okay for us, but as we lived here, we probably got a little bit spoiled. We wanted more and more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
Italian tiles are kind of seen as there's a bit of cachet about them, but are they cheaper there? Maybe that's a silly question.
no, it's not actually. They're- so local tiles, local stone would be a lot cheaper in Ireland than in Ireland. You've probably heard of Lecce stone, which
Hmm.
is about an hour from here, so it's a lot cheaper, and it's a beautiful stone. So to get your floors in that, um, I couldn't give you costs off the top of my head, but probably to do our house would be about €6,000, but God knows what it would cost in Ireland to do that.
Okay.
So if you go for local material, it's definitely a lot cheaper than it would be in Ireland,
Mm-hmm.
because it's locally sourced, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, the Italian design is very minimal. So stuff that you wouldn't, as I said, our taste changed so much, so it probably doesn't sound very attractive to you, but we got a stone sink made of cement and painted white.
And
But
it
it
sounds
actually looked really,
gorgeous.
it really, really turned out, extremely well, and we were really pleased with it. So, um, we're happy with that. But as we weren't shocked by any costs, because we basically added to our list, gradually. So there was no big increases. Now, due to the war in Iran, I know, raw materials have gone up a lot. So, if we got our quote now, I know a pool would cost a lot more than €30,000. So we're really looking in that respect. And plus, property prices have gone up in Osteria here by about 23%. So we really got in the market at the right time. But for someone looking for a cheaper home, I'd recommend traveling further south, because it seems to be, property prices are increasing, but as you go further south, there's still great bargains to be had. A lot of people are looking in Sicily as well, so there's great cheap properties there, So we're really lucky at the time we chose to move to Osteria, because now it's really expensive in places.
I want to get back to the tradespeople, because I think, again, prices are so spendy here. So let's just take a plumber, okay? If you had just a simple toilet block tomorrow and you had to call a plumber, what kind of call out fee do you reckon you'd be charged?
So through the geometer that we got, he has a whole team of people that do absolutely everything that you want done. So everything was replaced in the house, so we don't have any problems. But going back to when we moved over, we had no. When we moved into the house, there was literally nothing. That's another thing to make sure when you're buying a house. In Italy, they don't, unless you stipulate that you want stuff left in the house, there was literally nothing. So me and Dave arrived at the front door thinking we'd stay the first night. We had everything packed and we were going to stay, but there was literally no sinks, no kitchen, there was a pipe on the wall that used to be the kitchen. There was a toilet and a shower, but it was cold water. So we got a local plumber in to fit a shower for us. We had an old boiler, it was about €60, so it was really cheap if you get somebody local to do it for you.
And then timeline wise, John, how's it looking now for you guys? Are you actively looking for your next home?
Yes, so we bought 2.5 years ago. By the time the planning came through and the work on this house, the first tile was laid in May of last year. So we're now May a year later. We have the pool with no water in it yet. So everything else is done. The second bathroom is complete, so we just have to get the shower and the toilet and that's put in it. So we're hoping it will be another month or so. And during that time, we realised this house is a little bit small for us. So we want to sell on and hopefully get some profit from the sale as well. So we want a 3-bedroom next. So we're hoping to have this on the market probably in the next 2 months.
Okay.
And we're hoping to get it on before August, because Italy basically closes for the month of August. So the market will be pretty much shut down. And you want to show it when it's sunny as well, really.
Yes.
It's a totally different experience up until October. So we are on a strict timeline, I suppose. But trying to get rushing, putting pressure on to build this here doesn't really work, to be honest. They'll come when they come, and you just have to learn to live with that.
Yeah. What will you miss most about that house?
The view.
Yeah, I can see it here on video.
It's stunning. We didn't know we had that view because there was big trees there, but I got really handy with a chainsaw pretty quickly. So we had a magic view behind it that we didn't realize we had. So size-wise, it's quite small, but you spend most of your times outdoors. So it's going to kill me to leave when the pool is done and it's right there. And we have lots of olive trees here. So we get olive oil from them once a year. And just we really love this particular area we're
Mm.
in. So when it's done, it's going to be hard to move back into another doer-upper.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll be moving back into an empty house.
So then, John, for anyone listening who's thinking this sounds right up my street, what would the first steps be for them? And also, if you have any websites or anything that you could share where they might be able to start looking tentatively at
Sure.
properties.
Well, number one, I would say come visit for a week. Puglia is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. So, but it's not for everybody, you know. So come for a week and see how you feel, and have a look at all the different towns around Puglia, and see if anything sings to you. Some people, you know, Carvigno or Ceglie or Polignano Mare might, you know, really sing to them. So find a specific area that you like, and then you can go on Idealista, which is a property website, and you can zone in on the area that you've picked, and you can, you know, uh, see what your budget is, and see what type of house you could get for that. I'd say identify what your needs are. You know, there's great value to be had in apartments still in the city centre. So we had a couple here from Dublin that had seen us on a previous interview, and they came up to us, you know, and we had a good chat, and they were actually buying an apartment in Carvigno, which is the next town over, and they bought a townhouse, and I think it cost them about 80,000. So and it's absolutely stunning, stunning views from the roof terrace. You can see the sea. So there's great value to be had in a house, in a townhouse. But if, like us, you have dogs or kids and you want to add a pool, it has to be a villa. So know what you're looking for.
Hmm.
And then I would say contact a good agent. Our agent was is Jenny O'Brien in a company called Casa Puglia. If you give her your budget, she'll be able to tell you what you can get for that budget, and she'll find the really good value for money for that. Um, and she'll also do an initial check to see if the house is 100% legal. You can trust her as well. She's great. She'll tell you, look, you know, stay away from that. you know. And then I'd say on your second trip, do some house visits and get a feel for what's out there, and have a very open mind, because some of these houses you'll look and you think, oh my God, you know, this looks like a hut.
Yeah.
you know, have a look on Idealista and see what they look like after in the same area. Have a look at the before and after pictures and see what you could have an open mind and see what you could achieve by looking at these properties. You know, when we came to see this house first, it was literally a box, but now it's our little paradise. It's small, but it's we think it's really it turned out beyond our expectations. You know, so have a really open mind and have a look at houses beyond your budget to see what's possible. You know, and definitely buy something that you get a lot better value for buying cheap and, you know, renovating rather than buying a property that's already been renovated.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so, for instance, here in Ostuni, we had a look at houses recently. So you'd be looking at about 150, let's say, now for a decent two bed, you know, and if you spent maybe 130 on it, you could have a pool and total renovation. But if you're looking at that same house, you could be looking at around 400,000, you know, for a ready done house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Super tips, great advice, and thank you so much for sharing them with us.